Hey girl, it's Starla Share with Girl Start Over. My name is Star and I'm here to coach you into your new beginning. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about healing, self-discovery, self-worth, rebuilding yourself, God, and all of the things. So girl, let's get into today. So girl, today is a topic that's really a hot topic, maybe not so popular, but we're going to talk about the toxic self-development movement because I see a lot of glow up videos. There are thousands of glow up videos if you search for them on YouTube. Thousands of women coming out telling you, you got to take this, and do that so you can become this woman who really is just another made up version of another woman. And you are trying to become somebody that you were never created to be. You're also doing things from a perspective of materials, but not changing internally. Girl, let's talk about toxic self-development and how you can escape that cycle. So girl, I once fell into the toxic self-development stuff. Tell you what happened for God to shake me up out of the thing. Girl, I was getting so disgusted with my body because I was watching all the gym videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, she got a six-pack, she got this and that. I need to get in the gym, Now, one of the girls I was watching, I think, or it was on my social media at the time, and they was like, you need to take biotin, you need to take all these pills, right? The vitamins. So I literally bought these 10,000 mcg vitamins, and girl, when I tell you, I was taking them and then I started having pain, but I didn't correlate the pain back, to the vitamins. So I was talking to my my granny on the phone, and she was like, Star, that is way too much, you're not even supposed to be taking that much. And I was like, oh my gosh. And as soon as I stopped taking the vitamins, I literally stopped hurting. I was just like, you know what? That was a lesson in itself. And that was like at the end of last year. It's so true. Like, you could be trying to do things that other people are telling you to do that may work for them or that seem good, but it will hurt you in the end. And that's why you have to get rid of the toxic self-development culture. I have been blessed enough to experience some of the things that I have prayed for. Some of the things that I had really wanted in my life were very minuscule, especially before I was 25 years old. Like, some of the stuff I wanted was just very simple things: apartment, car. I want nice things. Don't forget, I had got my own crib. I was not living in the hood. I got my own crib. I ended up getting a car, and it was like the higher my life went and the better my life went, right? All these other things like breakups, insecurity, low self-worth, all that stuff started to pile up to the top. And I had worked really hard. This ain't a lot of money, but I was making almost $5,000 a month for my job. Now, mind you, so at that time, it was the highest amount of money that I had made. But I had did what I had thought was right. I was doing everything that I thought I could do. And I was putting success and accomplishments on top of it. But it was like, my emotions still rose up. Those things that I was still dealing with rose up to the top. And so what ended up happening when I was making all the money, when I had my crib, when I had my car, what did I ended up doing? I ended up looking back to my past, still going into a cycle of toxic relationships. And I'm like, man, I did X, Y, and Z. I worked out. I've lost weight. I'm making money. I've got my dream apartment. I'm living in a neighborhood that's really nice. Like, I got the stuff. So why is it that I have these things, but then something is still internally wrong with me? And the reason that something was internally wrong with me was because I was focused on materials. So every time I would feel something, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to create a new thing. I'm going to create a new business idea. And instead of sitting with my pain, instead of going to therapy, instead of truly dealing with it, because you don't have to go to therapy to deal with something, but just even acknowledging how I felt embarrassed about how I felt, I kept on trying to do other things. Heal. That cycle caught up with me because it rose to the same height at what I thought my quote unquote success was. You are constantly at this place where you're building, you're growing. But you notice with toxic self-development, it's never enough. You're the gym. How many times do you go to the gym if you like your body? Let's be real. They want you to lose weight and do all these things. But let's say when you lose the weight, what are you going to do? When you finally have the body, what are you going to do? When you ate, right, and you did all of the things, how are you going to continue to go forward? Like, what's going to be your next thing? It's like never ending, this chasing cycle of things. And that's why it's so important to be real with yourself. And that's why you have to really give your life to God, because without God, self-development and discipline is nothing. Because what's happening is you'll become so disciplined and you'll become so successful, but then you'll look up and it's only for you. A lot of the self-development is selfish. It's only for you. It's for nobody else. It's not a real purpose in it. It's just bettering yourself. But what are you bettering yourself for? And see, the thing is, you can live a disciplined and a successful life, but you can still be hurting inside. That's why successful people commit suicide. That's why successful people are lonely. That's why successful people sometimes don't have many relationships, or they don't have friends at all. They built everything they could. They did everything that they could for themselves, and then they put everything else on the bottom. And so now, at the pinnacle of their success, or at the pinnacle or whatever they have going on, that's when all the stuff starts to come up. Because it's like, man, I didn't really realize these things. And we have to be so for real and abandon this thing of I have to do more, I have to do more. Because if you really will with yourself, the best version of you isn't going to come from doing more stuff. The best version of yourself isn't going to come because you took 10 vitamins, because you went to the gym and you did X, Y, and Z. I'll tell you that gym is helpful. The right vitamins for your body type and knowing what you have going on can be helpful. I'm not telling you that it's not, but the best version of you is going to come when you discover the real you. Because a lot of times people are living as their fake selves. You don't know who you are. You don't even know what you like. You don't even know what you want to do with your life. You're living based off your mom, your dad, your best friend, or, you know, that real traumatic experience you had as a kid. It has just completely shaped and molded your whole entire life. And you think that that's you. That's not even the real you. And I remember, like, I kept having these toxic relationships with men, and being in a place where I'm just like, you know, having all these relationships with men, right? But why? Because I had lived a certain type of way. I had a childhood. I had things happen to me, and there was things I saw. So I put on that identity, and I let the things that I saw and the things around me tell me how I should live my life and tell me what I should do. When you take off what people have said, what you have, you know, been shown in your life, and when you realize, hey, some of the stuff you went through wasn't normal, and the way that you're acting also isn't normal, it's a trauma response, and you really don't feel safe, only then and then, when you realize you're not living up to your full self, that's when you're going to become her. That's when you're going to become the real version of yourself. That's like people going to school to be lawyers, and they're going to school to be doctors, and they're doing all these things for people approval. But then that's not really what they want to do. Do you know what they want to do? They want to paint. They want to do something completely different other than what everybody else has set them up to do or believe them to do and encourage them for doing. The point of becoming and developing yourself is so you can become the person, the real you that God actually made you to be. The person without wounds, the person who wasn't hurt, the person who hasn't been betrayed. Like, you can get to this place where you actually love yourself, because a lot of the toxic self-development is rooted in hatred. And so you're trying to do all these things and fix yourself so you don't hate yourself. But if you don't like yourself internally, you don't like what you're doing, you don't like how you spend your time, you don't like being with yourself, it doesn't matter what you do. Like, on the outside, you could change your hair, you could get nails, you could do all other things. But if you don't like you and you don't know who you are, self-development is going to be very, very hard after some time. Because after some time, you're going to get to a breaking point. You're going to say, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? It feels pointless. It feels like I don't have a purpose. It feels like I'm just going. So whether you wake up at 4 a.m. or you wake up at 9 a.m., you gotta be okay with you, to like you, and you have to know where you're going. You need a vision for your own life that isn't the vision of another woman. That's what toxic self-development is. It is all about becoming someone else. You know what's so crazy? Everybody be like in the videos, how to glow up and become the highest version of yourself. 9 times out of 10, a lot of the videos, they all have the same thing: becoming the highest version of yourself. You're becoming the version somebody else saw that they want to be like, and they're telling you how to do what this specific person did. Because not everybody's going to wake up at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. and go to the gym. Not everybody is going to eat the little toast with the avocado and the egg. Not everybody's going to do that stuff that way. But what? Somebody saw a woman do it, and so they said, I'm going to make a video about this woman, and I'm going to try and do what she did to see if I can become her. And that's what a lot of the self-development videos are, if you look at them, because they're all doing the same thing. The goal is not to do the same thing as everybody else. The goal is to live a disciplined life that works for you, that helps you with your self-esteem, with your self-worth. Now, I'm not telling you that discipline or structure is bad, because I went to a mental hospital before, and yes, y'all, don't judge me. And I'm going to tell you this right now. to a mental hospital. You are in a hospital, a place with other people who are mentally suffering. But do you know the first things that you do? First, you talk about your feelings and how you feeling and what you have going on. The person who's evaluating you, they're going to eventually get a schedule together for you. You're going to go to your room, and the first day that you're there, you have a schedule because they don't want you to think about harming yourself. So what are you going to do? You're going to wake up. You're going to do hygiene. They're going to give you your meds or quote unquote your vitamins, which will work for you. They're going to give you, if you do art, they might have you have community time after community time. Then you go to the gym after the gym. Then you'll have dinner. You might have drawing or you know, another time with community or being around people. You'll have a chat. You're going to go to bed. You're going to wake up and do the same thing. Why? Because how you spend your time is important. You do for yourself and how you spend your time in life, it can make you feel good about yourself. That's why people spend time at a job that they hate and they literally live miserable. But then once they quit the job, they live it free. Sometimes what you actually do does impact your mental health. The fact that you're not getting sleep can impact your mental health. But if you get sleep and you wake up at 4 a.m. and you do all the things that someone else tells you to do that you really aren't passionate about, you're not going to become your highest self. You're just going to become somebody who now has a routine. If you're going to develop a routine, find a routine that works for you. Me personally, I don't go to the gym. The reason I don't go to the gym, I'm a homeschool mom. Okay, my car situation is getting worked out. And I personally cannot get up and go to the gym every single morning. I also don't have someone to watch my kids consistently for me to go to the gym. So what do? I walk. I've lost 17 pounds. I run. I've lost 17 pounds. But see, somebody else may tell you have to go bulk in the gym. I didn't go bulk in the gym. In fact, when I tried doing all the weights and stuff, I was hurting myself at the crib. To find out what works for you so you can become the best version of you. But it's really about uncovering the real you that God actually made you to be. So once again, thank you for watching this video. My name is Stylish Shay. We're not doing toxic self-development. We are becoming the women that God wanted us to be. If you like this type of video, definitely subscribe to the channel. Send it to somebody you know who might need it. But yes, later, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is iamstar.lashay. Also, if you want to follow me on Threads, and my TikTok is girl.startover. I'll talk to you later. Bye.